Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rockin' the Poet Life, where the customers become the guest. So great to see y'all again. Now, today we have Professor Renée McRae of Poet Life University. How you doing? Great to have you here.
Thank you. I am well. Thank you for asking.
Right, so glad to have you. Now, before we get started, I gotta tell the viewers, I tell them every time, if y'all would like to be here in the seat where these amazing guests have been thus far, where Professor Renée is currently, go buy your merch at poetlife.com. Right there. She got it. She got it on. She prepared to come and be on the show. Y'all can DM us on Instagram letting us know that you purchased and that you'd like to be on the show. And you can come have a great conversation with me here at Rockin' the Poet Life. Now, Professor, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and introducing yourself, letting the people know what it is that you do, and we can get started.
Absolutely. My name is Renée McRae. I am a poet and an author, and I live in New York City.
Mm.
And I have been a poet for a long time, and I make my living doing poetry.
Wow. Say that last part again. You make your living doing poetry.
Well, for the last 20 years, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
No, I don't think we've had a New York guest, so you filling a lot of blanks right now. That's great. I'm glad to have you. So I
Thank
see
you.
you have your Poet Life University hoodie on.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, I do.
Yeah, so you are a professor of one of the classes, right?
I am. I am. I have the honor and distinction of teaching the class poets teaching poets teaching in the classroom, or poets teaching in schools. I think that's what we're calling it. Poets teaching in
Right.
schools. And we were going to call it poets teaching in the classroom, but that indicates that maybe you're just dealing with students when actuality
Mm,
you may be teaching parents, or you may be doing professional developments with teachers. So say,
right.
or you may be doing assembly programs in a school. So to say that
Mm,
it's poets in the classroom is a little bit limiting. So we just said poets in the schools.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's great. So I know you said that you've been making your living off poetry for the last 20 years, but did you start poetry 20 years ago, or how long have you been doing poetry?
No, actually, I started writing poetry in 1983.
Mm,
Um, and I wasn't really looking to write poetry, it just started coming through me. And
right.
poetry was more of a saving grace for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was crazy. I think I still am, but I was really crazy. And I was really at a point where I was questioning reality.
Mm,
I was questioning, why am I here? What is my purpose? I know I couldn't have been put here to just be in misery, which is what I was in.
right.
So poems started coming through. Like
Mm-hmm.
while I was driving, maybe something would say, what is this thing? Because I had these questions. What is this thing we call life? Is it hustle, bustle, struggle, and strife? I mean, where do we come from and where does it end? Are we in control or at the mercy of the wind? And these poems
Mm,
would just come to me. And by the time the poem was over, it would have like an answer that was solving the poem, solving
right.
the question that I'm walking in, standing in, and living in was being answered through poetry, and I was not a poet.
Mm,
It was just coming to me through me. So it was helpful. It was therapeutic for me.
right.
So initially, all of my poems were about something that I was questioning about my life.
Mm, yeah, that's amazing. That's a great
Like,
journey.
like God just performing therapy on me.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the journey of so many poets. This is how we get started. Is like we're faced with something that requires us to create a new outlet. Just whatever we were using, or maybe we weren't using anything at all. Poetry became that for us, and it was like a healing process. I know that was the same for me when I started. At first, it was just a class assignment in 10th grade. That was when I wrote my first poem, and then it became personal. It became a way to deal with issues, like you said. And that's interesting that you say, the questions you were asking yourself was solved by the end of the poem, because I didn't really realize that was a thing. because that happened with me. I didn't realize that was a that was a universal thing. But that's great. I absolutely understand where you're coming from in the start of
But
your journey.
thank you. I mean, we kindred spirits, and you're, might I say, wise beyond your years.
Thank you. So when it comes to the poet life, how did you get affiliated? How did you end up being a professor? Talk about that.
It's so funny now that I think about it. It's almost like the universe is just a funny character.
Mm,
And I will just say, I was in the midst of crisis, as usual,
mm,
in DC. And I was in a hotel that was not planned. I just happened to be there because I was stuck there. We were stuck there for 7 days. We were in different hotels because
mm.
my husband's truck broke down. And we were leaving this hotel, and on the television, there was this commercial about the poet life. Now, I use on my hashtags, I always hashtag poet life. That's my
Ah, really?
that's my thing.
Yeah.
So because I'm always saying, like, whatever I'm doing, I'm hashtagging poet life because that's what I'm doing, because that's what I'm a
Mm,
poet, blah, blah, blah. And it was like the poet life on the television. And I was like, well, wait, what is this? I couldn't back it up. I'm a back it up queen. I'm like, let me rewind that. No, I would rewind the radio. Somebody needs to fix that. But anyway, um, so we left, and I made a mental note, and I don't like carrying stuff in my head, but I carried it in my head. And
mhm,
by the time we got back to New York at some point, it came back to me that I had seen this commercial and I didn't know what it was. And it really
mhm.
stuck in my head because it was the poet life. And so
Right.
I sent an email right away. I had to find him first, but I started looking like, well, what was it and what is it? I'm looking on Google, I'm blah, 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 and I finally find a way on the website to figure out how to contact him. I didn't know
Mhm,
who I was contacting, and I just sent an email saying, I would love to find out what you guys do, and maybe, we can have a conversation about some possibilities. I
right.
mean, I didn't know what else to say. I just said, I think I told him I might have said, I've been a teaching artist for 20 years. I might have said that.
Mm,
I don't think I even said that, but he did call me back, and he said, and the email that he sent was like, and this is Christoph, of course,
right.
and he
Mhm,
says, um, can you hop on a Zoom tomorrow? I was like, oh, he is fat. He's like, tomorrow or Tuesday, and I was like, well, tomorrow's fine. Or something. What? Anyway, he chose he reminded me of myself because he had 2 days. I think I gave him 2 days, and he chose the first one. Like, we
mm,
get on this, we're gonna get on this right now. I was like,
right.
okay, I'm with you right now. You ain't said nothing but a word. So we got on the phone, we started talking on the Zoom, and next thing I know, I was agreeing to create a class.
Mhm. That's great. That's great. And I know exactly what you're talking about because I work with Christoph often, and things get done. Like it's a oh, you got time tonight and 5 hours to hop on this call. I'm good. Let's go. Like I absolutely I get it. He's a great guy. Created an amazing thing in the poet life, which allowed us both to be here having this conversation. So definitely
Absolutely.
got to give him his roses while he's around for
Yes,
that
he gets props from me because I mean, he is serious about it. It's not like it's a hobby. It's not like he is really doing what he's saying that he's going to do. Like, some people
one. Yeah.
talk about it and others be about it. And he's
Mhm,
like one of those people that is really all about it.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to wearing the poet life, we talked
Mm.
about being in with them. You got the class, but wearing the hoodies, the shirts, the hats, whatever it is you got in that arsenal in the closet. How do you feel when you put that on and you let the world know, like I am a poet, I work in the poetry industry, and this is my lifestyle.
It feels so good because I know that I'm representing. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I'm representing who I am because this is really, I mean, this is me. And I have like my own stuff too for my company. I have
mm,
a company, my company is Poetic Motivations. So
okay.
I have my own t-shirt with the Poetic Motivations logo on it in the front.
Mm,
My I have my license tag says poet on my car, and so I'm kind of used to it that way. Like, I was pulling up into a 7-Eleven one time, and I'm waiting for the people to pass by, and I had my windows cracked. And this guy, there was a few of them. There were a few of them like kind of moving out the way. And the guy says, "Come on, poet." And I was like, you know,
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of things that you want to happen when you wear something like that. It's literally so
it was
people
just,
know.
I didn't know how did he, and then I realized, oh, my license plate. Yes, because that's my license plate, poet.
Mm,
So yeah, so I love it. I love it. I love it. And one time I was someplace and someone pulled up to me at a light and they rolled the window down. I looked over, he was like, "So you a poet, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "That is so cool." And it was just like, it was like for this guy, he was an older man, he had white hair, and he was very distinguished looking, and he was so impressed with me being a poet. And you know, just people are impressed with that. They have this, not many people are, you don't know many poets basically, like
right.
in this family. You may know a lot of poets because you're interviewing poet after poet after
Mm,
poet, and you're on these websites and poet after poet after poet. But in general population, so to speak,
mm,
there is not that many people that can say my friend is a poet,
right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I realized that very quickly when I started following poets on Instagram and then poets would show up in like my suggested. There's not a poet I found that is not already followed by a poet I already follow. Like everybody knows each other because we're all here. Like there's only so many of us, but like what we've been able to do in this art in this time has been incredible. I don't see anything else like it happening with, I mean, music is music. It's things are already established. Poetry is one of those things that just is not, it's not in a foundation where you can't change it. Like we're building the foundation right now. I think that's one of the best things about the Poet Light. That's why I got invested. It sounds like that's why you got invested and started your own business, which I'm about to ask you about in a second. It's just it's a great feeling. But you gotta tell me because you brought it up. You gotta tell me about your business, your poetry business.
So my company is Poetic Motivations,
Mm,
and I always say where we make a difference through poetry. So we go into the schools. So I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. We go
mm-hmm,
into, I've hired other poets as well. When work just got too much work for just me,
mm-hmm.
I had like, I think about 9 people working for me at one time,
Wow.
just because we had so much work. And then we
Mm,
expanded. We go into the schools and we do different programs. So I have like my mainstay program is called Step Right Into Your Greatness. The right is WRITE.
right.
Step right into your greatness. So it's a writing program where the students are writing poetry and beginning to understand themselves and step into their own greatness and
Mm,
figure out what it is they're here for. Why are they here? What do they want to do? How are they going to do it? And to build the self-confidence and the courage and not succumb to the fear
mm-hmm.
of, you know, of not doing the thing you found out about yourself. So like what my whole thing is, you can live your dreams. And that's what I teach. So whatever program it is, it doesn't matter if it's rhyming to the beat, if it's you hold the keys to your success, if it's step right into your greatness, if it's, you know, goal setting for 2022. I don't care what it is. It's going to be about you living your dreams because that's what we're here to do. And
Right.
that's my mission, so to speak. And like some of my poetry has, one of my poems I use all the time in the classroom. I did a song. So it's on YouTube. It's also on like iTunes and Spotify and Tidal and
Mm-hmm.
all these places. And I just want to say my popularity meter is all filled up. And
I love that. I love that.
the name of the song is You Can Live Your Dreams. And
Mm,
then we have a video for it that's on YouTube. And so that was one of the things that I did with that. And I also did a book from another poem, and it's called Keeping Your Cool. I'm gonna just show you right quick.
yeah, go
And
ahead.
it's a children's book. So this is a book about helping the children understand how to manage their emotions in
Right.
turbulent times.
Yeah, that's
And
so important too.
it's all written in rhyme, so of course.
Mm. Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like you do a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of stuff to help this community and build this community. So I personally will thank you on behalf of everybody because we need people like you, just not only in the industry but in the world, giving back and doing it in such a creative way. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Please keep working and keep creating because everybody's gonna love it. And if everybody don't love it, it don't matter because somebody loves it and it's going to
Right.
help somebody, and that's always the goal. So at this time, I will let you plug anything else that you like, if there's anything else you got going on that you want people to go see, where they can find you, any of that.
So, well, first and foremost, they can find me at the Poet Life University. I'm teaching
Mm,
that class. Secondly, they can find me on Instagram at Renee McRae, right there.
there you go.
Right. And
Hmm.
so I'm not too I'm on a few other things, but not as consistently as I'm on Instagram. So
Hmm.
that's the main place to find me is on Instagram. What I have coming up, I just finished a book. I'm still working on the cover. Um, but it is a book of rhyming affirmations, and that should be I'm looking to have that out shortly, and it's going to actually have some audio with it, and also I want to do some oracle cards with it.
Oh, that sounds super exciting.
Yeah, do you know what oracle cards are?
I was hoping you didn't ask me because I was like, should I be like, I don't know?
A lot of
Or
people
should I
don't.
just be just smile and nod? I chose smile and nod, but I actually would like to know what that is.
So yeah, oracle cards are like tarot cards. tarot,
Okay.
tarot cards are, they're all specifically about clubs and
Hmm.
swords and pentacles and cups, but and they all mean certain specific things like money or
Hmm.
whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Or family, right? But oracle cards are a little bit different.
Mm,
So oracle cards are whatever you want it. They could be about the moon. Oracle
mm,
cards could just be about power. Oracle cards could be about spirituality. It could be about anything. So what I want to do is I want to take my book of poetic affirmations, which that's not
mm,
the title, but that's going to be part of it, um, and have a deck of cards with
mm.
maybe 72 of those poetic affirmations on the card. So when you shuffle the deck,
Right.
every day you just shuffle your deck a little bit, shuffle, shuffle, spread it out, choose a card. Whatever that poetic affirmation is, that's what you need to work on for that day.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
super dope. I love that idea.
Yes, yes, yes. And another thing that I'm doing, I should tell you this. I have a coaching practice, and
Okay.
it is based on a poetry platform. I
Mm,
have my clients write poetry, and then we discuss it, and it doesn't take long, but they soon figure out who they really are, why they
mm.
really showed up, and what they want to do with the rest of their life.
Wow. You do so much, and all this is like stuff I never would have thought to do. Like oracle cards would not have come to my mind when it comes to poetry. That's amazing. But I will thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a great episode. Don't tell nobody else, but this was one of my favorites. I gotta say, I enjoyed this conversation a lot. But thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much. I enjoyed you, and continued success to you. You are something else. You just bust up
Thank
in here
you.
and said, I'm here.
I
You,
really appreciate it. But for the
I'll be
people at
looking
home,
forward. I'm gonna be
man,
looking forward to the things that you're gonna be doing.
thank you so much. For the people at home, please follow her. Her ad is right there. Y'all ain't got no excuse. She does all these things. Y'all need to stay up because then y'all gonna be behind. So stay up. She's right there. And if y'all would like to be in this seat, please purchase your gear at poetlife.com. Use code prophecy, PRXPHECY, as it is spelled on the screen to get your discount. DM us and come on the show and have a good time. But thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.